Hey everybody, it's Sai from Happy Accident Studios, and today we're doing Hougie Nights. That's right, it's another episode of Hougie Nights where I show you how to use the Hougie board to make something fun. And this one is a diamond fold card, double diamond fold card, and it was featured in Quick Cards Made Easy magazine with a little bit of a typo. I fixed it, and I'm showing you how to make it. So, let's get started. First, you're going to need a background card, decent substance to it because it is the base of the card. And it needs to measure 18 by 28 centimeters. So make sure you get that kind of accurate because all the folding depends on it. Right. At this point, what I also did, and it doesn't tell you this, but I did it anyway. Take some patterned paper that you're going to use in the design and cut it to the same measurements. I'll tell you why later. I'm not even sure if I've done it right. So let's see. Mistakes are the fun part, right? Okay. So the first thing you need to do is lay it onto your Hougie board like this. Right, so that this 18 centimeters goes down like that, and the 28 centimeters goes across like that. Right, next, we make marks on it first, not scores. Right, this is your Hougie scoring tool, which comes with the board. We're going to use that in a minute, but we're going to have a handy-dandy pencil first, because you need to mark 9 centimeters on the height. You probably can't see the marks that are on here. Now you can't. I'm casting a shadow now. But there are marks on here. And I know that this is 9. And I'm just going to slide this over to the other side because there's measurements on both sides. And I'm just going to mark the 9 centimeters on both sides. And then you need to mark 3.5 centimeters. So that's 3.5. The magazine said 3. If you mark that 3.5, that's 1, 2, 3.5 there, because you're not going to be scoring at that 3.5, and at 24.5. Now that sounds like it's hard to remember, but it's actually just 3.5 centimeters in from the other side. So it's 1, 2, 3.5, 24.5, right? And you're going to need to do that on both sides. And this is the only time that I will tell you to rotate your paper like that. 3.5 and 1, 2, 3.5. Okay. That's it. So we've made our marks, and now it's time to score. Now, if you're ever scoring on this board and you need to flip it over, flip it vertically. Okay. Most patterns require you to flip it that way so that you don't lose the left to right. I know, weird, but just go with it. Okay, so the marks have been made. Score vertically, so that's this way. Score vertically at 7, 10.5, 17.5, and 21. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you just, basically, you can just feel the tool go into the track underneath the paper. See these little tracks? You can just feel that. And you'll be able to score a straight line. So that's 7, 10.5. So that's 10 there and a half. So 10.5. Then 17.5, which is here. Whoops. It's important to hold your paper straight against this top ridge and the side ridge to keep everything nice and square. And 21, that's here. Okay, I do believe that's how it works. Okay, right now, let's see. Score your X's. Now, this brings the mark into play, And it also requires me to show you how to do a little trick, because the Hougie board is scored in vertical lines. You need to make a diagonal line now. So we're going to figure out how to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick, I have to find out which spots I need to connect with a diagonal line. I'm going to mark it with this piece of paper here. We need to score a line from this mark, which is the 3.5 centimeter mark, right, to this line, which is the 10.5 centimeter line, like that. Now, the way we're going to do that is we are going to line up that line with one of these lines on the Hougie board. So this is how I do it. I'm going to choose the line in the middle of the Hougie board, which is the 15, right? And I'm going to place that mark that we made, the 3.5 mark, I'm going to place that in the 15 hole, and in the 15 line. I'm going to line that up with the 15. Now I'm going to take my paper out of the way, and I'm going to slide the tool down so that I am still in the number 15 slot. Line that mark up again there. And then I am going to line up my end point, which is this 10.5 centimeter here. I'm going to line that up as well so that the mark and the score line are both in the 15 slot. And then I am going to draw the Hougie tool down, and that has given me exactly the diagonal that I want. Now we got to do it in the other direction. So I'm going to do this the short way now. I'm just going to take my tool in the 15, bring it down. Whoops, it's a bit sticky today. Right, my tool is still in the 15, but it's just lower. Now I'm going to line up my score line on the 15, and I am going to rotate it so that the mark on the paper is also in the 15. Then, and only then, you draw your Hougie tool down again, and you've got both of your lines. I call that the X's, score X's, it says right here in my instructions. So we've done 3.5 to 10.5 in both directions, like it says on the sheet. Please feel free to copy this, by the way, or find an issue of Quick Cards Made Easy with the double diamond fold card on the front. That's how you find it. Go to your local newsagent. The other one on the other side now we've got to do. So we do the mark with the second score line in exactly the same way as we did the other side. So here's 15. My tool goes down. I line up the spot with 15. I line up the score line with 15. It's very, very important that you keep the paper absolutely still when you've got it positioned, because you don't have, because we're not making lines going down, we haven't got these little bumps to line the paper up with. So we have to be as careful as we can. Right, here's my 3.5. Yep, there we go. And there's my score line. That was a funny noise. Right, so the X's have been made on both sides. Now, where are the diamonds, I hear you cry? Well, we've got to move to the next page of instructions. So, now we have to cut from the 9 centimeter mark to the 3.5 centimeter mark. We don't cut with a Hougie board. We cut with one of these babies. Now, this is a 12-inch trimmer from Fiskars. You can't see the bottom of it, but there it is. Here, like that. Yeah. It's got a little blade that slides in a track, and the track in question looks quite a lot like the ridges on the Hougie board. Pretty cool, huh? I don't recommend using your trimmer for scoring, but sometimes I do. Shh. If I just have to do one quick score, but apparently it can misshape the track and it makes your blade go funny, and then it doesn't cut well anymore. So, you know, better safe than sorry. Get yourself a Hougie board. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to line that little mark up again on this track here, you see? And we're going to line both the marks up so that they are both on the track. And I'm going to move this a little bit up so you can see me. Now, once your marks are both on the track of the cutting machine, you put the track down and you make the cut. And then you do it again on the other side. You get your mark in there, and then you rotate it so your other mark's in there. Oops! Oh no, I slipped. Okay, let's try again. Here we go. Okay, can you see this? Voila! We have a diamond. Let's make the other diamond. We're just connecting the middle mark with the first mark on the long side. So here we go. One. This is going to slide out again when I close it. No, good. Okay, so there we go. Now we have our lovely scored and folded item. Isn't that fantastic? But how does it make into a card, you ask? Well, let's have a look. I'm going to put my scraps over there. Right, we don't need any of these tools anymore. We just need our brains. Now, don't get put off by that. If you're not a thinker, don't worry about it. So what we're going to do is we are going to fold the straight up and down lines here all in the same direction. So I'm going to make a mountain fold. See, like that. So it's a mountain fold. It comes up towards your face, right? That's what we're going to do with all of these uprights. Just make a mountain fold. Like that. Now, it still doesn't look like a card, does it? Because we have to make valley folds. And the valley folds we must make are the diagonal lines. So we fold that one that way, up towards us this time, up like that, so that it's pointing down like a valley instead of up like a mountain. You got it? Valley fold, mountain fold. Yeah? So let's make another valley fold with this one. And then we are going to do the same valley folds with the diagonals. 1, 2. Okay, now check this out. These bits kind of pinch this way and this way, right? If you fold them, you get the other point of your diamond, see? Like that. And we're going to do the same thing over here. Oh, look at this. Whoop. There you go, like that. So, now here's the thing. You've got 2 different cards looking at you right now. Right? Oops, sorry, and fold those back as well. So, the first card looks like this. It's got the 2 diamonds in the background, and it's got this rectangle here out in the front. Okay? And then, over here, you've got the rectangle in the background and the 2 diamonds in the front. You see? So if you don't like it this way, you can flip it and it'll look like that. So however you want to decorate your card now that you've folded it is all up to you. This way or this way. Does not matter. I quite like this way. I've made them this way in the past and I think they look great. But I don't know, maybe now I will fold it. I'll do it this way. Looks like fun, right? So a lot of people, what they like to do is they like to put pieces of patterned paper in to make it look a bit richer, more decorated. So how on earth are you supposed to make patterned paper pieces to do this? Well, I'll tell you what, you do it exactly the same way you made the card. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to make sure that these measurements are right. Yes, they are. And then I am going to make the same marks that I did on the other one on this one. And I think so that I can see the marks better, I'm going to cut it. I'm going to mark it this way. So 9 centimeters here, 9 centimeters there, 1, 2, 3.5, 1, 2, 3.5. This is how fast I work, honestly. 1, 2, 3.5, 1, 2, 3.5. So I've got the marks I need. Now I'm going to score it. So here we go. Gonna score. Da, da, da. You might ask why I'm not cutting on these lines instead of scoring. And I will tell you that I probably should be cutting instead of scoring. No, I need to score it because the scoring makes the shapes and all that business. So here I go. Right. 7. That's 7. Yep. Oop. 10.5. 17.5. 21. There you go. Right, now I must do the 15 trick again. There we go. 15 to there. 15 to there. Yep. Yep. And find that. Line it up. For those of you who prefer to see the whole thing being done, I guess this is priceless, right? Well, it's priceless, but for other reasons. Okay, that and that. Yep. There you go. And line it up. Line it up. There we go. Right, now what we've got here are pieces of card that are going to be exactly the right size, and that's not really what we want. We want them to be slightly smaller. Now I'm just going to do this quick bit with the cutting of the marks. Doing it backwards to the way I showed you. That's not very nice, is it? Whatever floats your boat. This way. And this way. There we go. And do the other side. Are you even seeing this? I'm not showing very well, am I? Da, 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 da. And one more cut. My blades misbehaving. Okay, so what you can do is you can cut these bits out. So I'm definitely going to cut the 2 diamonds the way that I've scored them. Just to start with. Here we go. My blade on my trimmer is a bit dull, so it's acting a bit funny. Right, so there's a piece. Lay that aside and get rid of this here now. And you may want to cut all of these things out, little triangles and everything, and decide what you want to do with them. So here you go, triangles, diamond. If it's not a perfect cut, don't worry about it, because at this point you're going to lose some anyway off of the sides. More triangles. And because this design is totally symmetrical, it doesn't matter if you fold or cut on the wrong side, because it's all going to be fine. There will be pieces the right size no matter what. Okay. This is one bit that you don't really need because, well, actually it depends. It depends which card you're making. All right, keep it all. Keep it all. Don't throw anything out. Okay. So you got this bit. Put them over here. The contrast is nicer. Okay. So we're going to have some very strange triangles here. They're all right triangles, but they're all going different ways, you see? You've got like the left-hand ones, and you've got the right-hand ones. Sort of weird. Anyway, they're not all the same because they're opposing each other, so they're not going to be the same. Right, more cutting. Let's do this. I think I'm going to try it this way. I'm going to just to make the whole cut the way I did it on the scoring board. Ah. Line this one up now, like that. And go in freestyle again. Right, so we've got 2 of these diamonds, hence the name double diamond. Now let's cut this baby up. Oops. Just follow your score lines. Once you get to know your paper trimmer, you can just do this, and you know, you can skip the formalities once you guys are on an even keel with each other. So, okay, we've done this now. We've got all these pieces. So let's have a look at our finished card position and see which pieces we need. Looks like we're going to need both the diamonds, right? So we're going to need both those. We're definitely going to need this backing rectangle. And we can also see this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. So I was right, we don't actually need these pieces. See, we don't need them because they don't show in the finished card. And these pieces do, because they're just going to be peeking out the out from behind the diamonds. So we're going to need them. So let's match these up. Let's flatten it right out. I've made X's on each of the triangles we need. So looks like we don't need, see this one, that's the right one. Well, that's one of the right ones. Then we need one going the other way. So that's that one. And then we need another one of each. One here. And one here. Now, if you don't have a repeat pattern like this, and you use something that's got a bigger pattern on it that has continuity, then you're going to have to use the exact pieces, the correct pieces in the design. And that's a whole different kettle of fish that I am going to try on my own, and I'm probably going to swear a lot and get really frustrated and possibly give up. So I'm not videoing that. That's up to you to try. It's for advanced people. Right, so fold this back up the way it's supposed to be. There we go. Right, now we need to resize these pieces, because the way I like it, I like to have a little border of the card showing. So there I go, making things difficult, right? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. the rectangle, it doesn't matter that much, okay? For the rectangle, I'm going to cut maybe a centimeter off of the length, right? Like that, and a centimeter off of the width, like that. What that leaves me with is a 1/2 centimeter border around the original brown card. You see that? So that's going to fit nice. But I do loads of things to my cards before I stick them all together. So let's just put this aside because it is now the right size. Now, this is going to be harder. If we want something to be a 1/2 centimeter all the way around and it's got 3 sides instead of 4, then we're just going to have to wing it. So let's see. I think I'm eyeballing this. If you thrive on exact stuff, you're not going to like this bit. You can use a ruler to mark lines and then cut it with a craft knife, but that's not my bag. This isn't cutting straight either. Oh dear. Okay. Whoop. Oh, pitfalls. La la la. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna cut a little bit off there. I need to start in the middle. Gosh, remind me to sharpen this later. Okay, and then this side here needs a bit taken off as well, which is good because I ripped the tip off the triangle earlier. So if I cut this one, if I can manage to keep it straight and cut it straight, it will remove the offending non-pointy bit. And it has! Okay, cool. So this one should go here. And that's a nice, it does have a nice border on it. I will show it to you later. I've got to do this with all of these pieces. So ignore me for a bit because I'm just going to be doing this. La la la. We are back onto the rhomboid section, so I'm thinking, no, because it's not a rectangle, I have to cut each of the 4 sides. Is that right? No, it isn't. I can get away with this. Okay. It's just really, really hard to judge it, so I'm not going to do it. I'm gonna eyeball it the crazy way. And I am going to cut all 4 sides. So that's 1. Sometimes the angle can be affected and it just doesn't come out pretty. It's not a happy ending. Right, so do this. One more. Okay, let's have a look at that. Beautiful. Look at that. Excellent fit. And this one. Now, I'm not going to be showing you a completed card today because I would need to sort out motifs and things like that to put on it, decorations, embellishments, all that. But hopefully, by the time it hits YouTube, I should have a finished card on the actual thumbnail for the video. I'm hoping. So, look at this. There we go. Okay, so I've done that again. Yep, and it looks like it's a bit too big on that side, so let's give it another little bit. Let's have a look at it now. Much better. Much better. Okay, cool. So, those are our pieces. Now, normally, I would ink the edges of those pieces. I don't know, should I? I mean, it's a stream, we're all hanging out, right? Should be okay. Trying to find my paper recycling. Right, I'm just gonna pop over and get some ink. In a second. Right, I like this one. It's Versacolor Heliotrope. It is a pigment ink pad, which means it's going to take ages to dry. Goody goody gumdrops. Alright, I'm not going to go full grunge on this. I just basically like to ink it up to give it a little bit of a shadowy looking effect, and also the cut edges of your colored paper, if it's like this, tends to be white. And I think if you can get a nice sort of immersion of color, I guess, it just looks a little bit neater. So yeah, I do ink edges a lot. It's what most of my ink pads are for. I had to buy different ink pads for my stamping because these, after inking edges with it for so long, just looks like someone's taken a razor blade to it. So, and it has. It's basically been given paper cuts. So. And also, if you want a really grungy look to your card, you can take, they call them paper distressors, but I think they're actually thread cutters. But you can use a thread cutter to distress the edge of your paper and then put the ink on it. That looks really super. I've actually got something over here that I've made with the edge distressor. Let me see if I can grab it for you. Ah, here, look. Do you see this edge, how it's really, really fluffed up? The paper distressor does that. You basically run a blade over it like that, and it really fluffs it up, and it's really ready to accept ink at that point. So that's quite a good thing to do. This card, eventually, as it happens, this card was made, the background pieces were made using a technique referred to as the shaving foam technique, which I am going to bring to you at some point. Watch this space, I guess. Anyway, back to what we're doing. We are inking edges. Oh, these little fiddly ones. Aren't they cute? I'm so sorry. Have you seen any of what I'm doing here? I tend to go off the screen and sort of bring it towards me and work over here, and you can barely see it. Sorry about that. I must remember to stay in frame. Eclipse Libra! Yay! I've got a viewer, Eclipse Libra, and she popped in just as I was signing off my video last time. So I'm really glad you're here. I'm glad you could join me. Let's see. Yes, we are making a, just a recap for my Twitch people as I record this. I'm making a double diamond fold card. So you'll have to check me out in the past broadcast section to start from the beginning, or wait for YouTube and you can watch this. I've written all the measurements down and I've gone through how to make it and everything. I'm just inking the edges of these little bits so that I can put them on. And we've got loads to do today on the stream. So if you're watching this on the Twitch stream, I'm actually doing a couple of other things after this is done. If you're watching on YouTube, there might be videos of what I'm doing, but if you want to see things as they happen in their organic form, check me out on twitch.tv/HapAxeStudios, which is where people are watching me as I record this. Right, adhesive. I'm going to have to get up again. Sorry. Back in a second. That was a quick one. Okay, I'm back. I'm using tape. Double-sided tape for this wonderfulness. So, has anyone ever seen the trick with the double-sided tape, how to keep everything straight? Because the thing with double-sided tape is, it's a lot of it is not very forgiving if you put it down wrong. But I have a trick. I'm also not very good at ripping the back off of these. Oh, I'm going to try my own trick here. That might help. If you really burnish the tape down, apparently the backing lifts better. Wow, that really wanted to stay down. Okay. Oop. So, I've just partially peeled this tape away, and I'm going to fold it back on itself. I'm going to fold the backing paper back on itself so it sticks out the side. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Here we go. Pull this one. It does not want to play today. Okay, here we go. Right. So now we've got two bits sticking out the side like that. I'm going to add the top and bottom on. Like that. Right, like this. Even though it's a really tiny piece, I'm still folding it back. Press that down. Oop. Oh, it's not playing. Be nice. Nice to me. My viewers want to see the end of this. Don't want to watch me peel tape all day. Okay, so right here is the panel, and here are all the bits of tape. So open this baby right up, position it the way you want it, and the tape sort of acts a bit like a hovercraft, so you can hover the paper around and work out exactly where you want it. When you're sure, press it down. The exposed bits of tape have already stuck. Right now, don't press it too hard at this point. You just want to lift this tape out like this. All that has been stuck down. It hasn't shifted a bit. That's a trick someone taught me when I was just starting out doing card making. And it does. It keeps everything nice and straight if you have to use this double-sided tape, which is evil. But I have been using it a lot more lately. So we're going to do the same with all the other bits that you've seen. So triangles first, I reckon. it's time for the reveal. Okay, so here it is. That is a double diamond fold card. And what you would do is, the way we folded it here, what you would do is you'd make some little things here to be your main focus, and maybe some bits at the top and the bottom here just to sort of peek through, or just a narrow thing maybe there, just to look at behind your two diamonds. So that's how it is. For those of you who have joined late, if you want to reverse this and make the rectangle happen in the front, you just flip it and you do the exact same thing with the paper, but you just flip it round. And that looks pretty cool as well. So that's the double diamond fold card. I am going to wrap things up now, but in the stream on Twitch, I am actually going on to the next thing, so don't go away. But I'm going to wrap this up for people watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me for the Double Diamond Fold Hougie Nights video. I have been Sai. This has been Happy Accident Studios. I can be found on Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, Vine, and Facebook. But yeah, the Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and Vine is at HapAx Studios, HAPAX Studios. And my Facebook page is facebook.com/Happy Accident Studios, all one word, no spaces. And I have a website, www.happyaccidentstudios.com. If you live in the Medway area of Kent in England, I am a paper crafts teacher, freelance, and I can teach you either in a venue of your choosing or in your own home for a small party. So if you fancy having a little girls' night in, get in touch, S-Y, at happyaccidentstudios, all one word, .co.uk. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.